What's happening this week in Warcraft? Hey, it's Soul, and you can help support the channel by liking this video, subscribing for more WoW coverage, and catching me where I'm live. It's gonna be a big week with the 11.2.7 patch adding tons of content, but what's a patch without crippling, infuriating downtime? Housing is one of the biggest features coming to World of Warcraft that includes a whole host of back-end systems and new kinds of gameplay we haven't seen before, and I'm quite confident there's going to be a host of issues that might delay the patch from going live in a timely manner. If you're planning on getting into the patch and housing day one, part of that plan should be to have a backup plan. I'll be streaming while we wait for realms to come up, so you'll be in good company. Early access housing is for those who pre-ordered any version of Midnight. They'll be able to join a neighborhood, purchase a plot, and start building. Those who have not, though, can still participate. They can visit neighborhoods and see what their friends are making. All they need to do is be in the same party or guild, or be friends on Battle.net. From there, just right-click their name, whether they're online or not, to view their homes, then hit the visit button. Keep in mind there are privacy settings, and some folks might want to keep others out. As for what you can do for housing without early access, you can participate in the collection and trading of decor. Pre-order or not, everyone can comb the land for decor sold from vendors, crafted via professions, given through quests, earned from achievements, and dropped from a few select places. For you crafters, you'll want to visit one of these NPCs depending on the neighborhood you visit to complete a quest that teaches you how to chop lumber from just about any zone. These materials are used alongside others to craft decor from every expansion and every crafting profession. To get to a neighborhood, you can access the housing dashboard and press this home button to teleport in, or access it via portal room in your capital city. For those of us jumping into housing for early access, here's how it works. It's very simple. Brand new players to World of Warcraft will be prompted shortly after completing the basic combat tutorial to continue on or venture into housing. Now, I don't really recommend skipping out on the game so soon, but hey, the option's there. Veterans and returning players can open up the new housing dashboard through a button on the main menu bar and start a tutorial. I'm going to brush past this part where you're taken on a guided tour through the ins and outs of your neighborhood. You select your first house at no cost to you, learn vendor locations, and practice a tiny bit with how placing decor works until you're unceremoniously thrown to the wolves. I will be on stream as much as my body can handle throughout this week, answering questions and, probably making a fool of myself. For now, you'll have to settle for some useful tips and things to know. There are a maximum of 5 housing levels during early access. Level determines how much stuff you can place in the house, how many and what sorts of room types are available. It's an interesting approach to growing your home as opposed to, say, having to save up oodles of gold or whatever to buy a bigger house outright. Important milestones, in my opinion, include being able to use a medium-sized square room at level 2, and the room is pretty darn big if you ask me. Level 4 unlocks the large octagonal room, and level 5 unlocks the large square room. There are other rooms which feature a day and night skybox that won't be available during early access. As for leveling itself, I'll release a dedicated guide for that later this week, but in short, your path to leveling up housing is to collect decor, whether you're part of early access or not. You may have heard of endeavors, but these are not going to be a part of early access. And now for a bunch of scattered tips. You may want to have an alt dedicated to working on your house. To be fair, you do have a very convenient way of traveling home and back again through the housing menu, and it has a 15-minute cooldown. But there may be times the teleport's on cooldown, or you're in a situation where you're at a vendor and you want to buy multiples of a decor, but you're not quite sure how many to pick up. This way you can save a few back and forth trips. And maybe it'll just seem kind of cool to have a house goblin or person or whatever. You can track decor from the house chest, just like how we can track transmog by shift-clicking whatever it is we're interested in. Information is also provided in case there are requirements to meet to unlock the decor. This is great for hunting down decor you want, and is especially useful if there's decor we previously unlocked through a quest or an achievement from like a decade ago and we want to go back and purchase some more. But you don't even have to venture very far for lots of decor. If you take a close look at the neighborhood vendors, they provide just about everything you need to make a very complete, very detailed home of your style. Here on the map are locations of all the vendors in each neighborhood, and they're all shared, so you don't have to visit one neighborhood for exclusive stuff. Privacy settings are accessible from this button up top here when you're on your plot or inside the house. By default, anyone can visit your outdoor plot, but no one can enter your home. Use the checkboxes to customize who can enter your realm. Refer to the ignore list to reinforce your grudge. The takeaway from this is, at least as of right now, people need to have formed some sort of social connection with you to locate your home at all, let alone enter it. We don't expect early access to include a way to manually enter an address or visit any neighborhood we want. A select number of furniture, mostly the new stuff, can be dyed among a massive variety of colors. The creation of dyes is a little bit convoluted, so I'll try to be quick. An alchemist or scribe will have a new round of recipes that grind out herbs from every expansion into select pigments, which can then be crafted into dyes at stations in each neighborhood. Without knowing how much you might care about dyes at this early stage, I suggest, if nothing else, to gather up whatever herbs you have lying around and consider spinning up that old garrison of yours. The herbs gathered from the garden can be a slow and steady supply of pigments or dyes to use, or sell, or hoard, because that day will come when you suddenly want to dye your entire place horde red after you've seen the light. As the week goes by, I'll be listening for the most frequently asked questions and issues people run into and compile that into another helpful round of tips. Stay tuned. One of the very first things you'll notice when logging in is a prompt to change your default movement keys. Normally, the A and D keys make your character turn left or right. The new default will change these keys to strafe left or right, so it's up to you to keep the classic settings or change to the new setting. The new questline leading us towards midnight starts just outside the bank in Dornagal. It's pretty hard to miss. One thing players will quickly notice is skywriting has changed. Gone are the little egg-looking things to count your vigor. Now you simply have 6 shared charges between your Skyward Ascent and Surge Forward abilities. Meanwhile, Whirling Surge is still on a cooldown, but it doesn't eat up any charges. And here's how the charges work. You get 1 charge every 10 seconds, regardless of your speed or orientation while flying. But when obeying the skywriting rules of pitching down or flying close to the ground, this cooldown is reduced to as low as 4.8 seconds. Also, taking off for the first time using Skyward Ascent will no longer use up a vigor or a charge. Overall, skywriting just got easier for those of us who might still be a little bit clumsy in the air, and it's more or less the same thing for seasoned pilots. It's just a bit easier with a free takeoff and slightly faster regeneration. Notably, the one-button rotation has been updated, allowing it to work with the press-to-hold cast option. With this unholy combination, you can basically pick up one of those foot controllers and, well, hit the gas pedal to DPS. The Brawlers Guild is back for the season, featuring new fights and new prizes, including a mount and housing decor. The locations are as always. Horde can access it over in Orgrimmar. Alliance folk can access it over at the Deep Run Tram by going through the Stormwind side. We may have to wait and see if we can just walk into the Brawlers Guild or if we need to get an invitation like the good old days. I suggest hanging out in Dornagal or seeing if a quest automatically pops up. Heritage armor is finally available for the Pandaren. You need to be level 50 without the use of a character boost, but hey, the Legion Remix is right over there to help you take care of that very easily. With your Pandaren, head over to the embassy for your faction to get started. While we're at it, a new lore-walking scenario is available. You can find Lorewalker Cho over in your faction capital or in Dornagal. Turbulent Timeways returns for 10 whole ass weeks, and also debuted Shadowlands into the Timewalking rotation during the first and the final week. We'll be entering the other side, Spires of Ascension, Plaguefall, Necrotic Wake, Sanguine Depths, and Halls of Atonement. Meanwhile, we can visit a vendor inside Oribos who sells a variety of everything, from transmog to mounts and pets, and I'm definitely picking up some shields. Shadowlands is followed by the rest of the Timewalking roster in no particular order. Just like past events, running multiple Timewalking dungeons lets you build and maintain the Knowledge of the Timeways buff. Doing this 5 times during the 10-week event will get you a mount, although this time there's a twist. Instead of 1 mount, we get a voucher to make a meaningful choice between 4 mounts. Choose 1 and the other 3 can be purchased with Time Warp badges. I'm going to take a guess and say that just like the other Turbulent Timeways mounts, these will be sold by the vendors during every Timewalking event in the future, so I say choose the one you want now, farm for the rest of them on your own time, and let the FOMO slide off your back like water on rock. Finally, the Timewalking quest for gear will give Heroic instead of just Champion gear, so it's a cool opportunity to score some starting gear for those fresh Legion Remix alts. Those of you who've been on break have another option to help you get back into the game. If you've been away for a few months, you can take on a returning player experience that throws you into another zone to take on basic quests and beat up bad guys, all in a way to help jog your memory on how to play your class and maybe familiarize yourself with new changes. New players to World of Warcraft also have an updated experience that'll take them through not just Exile's Reach, but all the way through Dragonflight in a curated storyline that takes players through this patch content, including story mode raids, to ease them into the war within. And what else is happening? The anniversary event enters its last few days, giving a small window of opportunity to combine this with the Turbulent Timeways buff for some more fast leveling if you're not into the Legion remix, which also continues on its third week of Phase 4 with Phase 5 just around the corner. The World Quest bonus event is in play. Once again, it's another thing you can stack to gain rep for cosmetics, including decor, because, hey, that's a thing now, and bits of decor can be found all over the game. Classic Ashran is the Brawl, and over in Mythic Plus World, it's a Tyrannical Fortified week. And that's it this week. And how's that for an understatement? As a reminder, I'll be streaming throughout the week to help answer questions, chat while we impatiently wait for realms to come up. Please like this video, subscribe for more WoW coverage, catch me live, and I'll catch you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.